Sorry to be late. Indeed, I did. Well, are we ready?
All right, Chair Dickey, you can start whenever you like.
Thanks. Well, calling today's meeting to order, and I guess we'll go around and say that we're here. You want us to say our names? Is that how that works?
We can start with a roll call, and
Yep.
I can start with the names, and if you just let me know when that you're here.
Okay.
Jonathan Rudder, Allison Coster, Dennis Kroll,
Here.
Nathaniel Dickey,
Here.
Paula Krogan, Timothy Wilzine, Chuck Hendrickson.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. And I guess we are to talk about some agenda amendments. Maybe it's just a question of if there are any. Does anyone have any amendments to the agenda? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to approval of the minutes from our January meeting. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Abstentions? Great. And then moving on to any citizens to be heard. Are you here to be heard? Okay. Wonderful. Well, welcome. Good to have you here. All right, so then moving on to business items. Public art approval for the utility box wraps. We have some discussion.
Yes, and I can provide some overview if you like.
Do.
So in August of 2022, the Art and Culture Commission decided to move forward with choosing the utility box wrap project by way of a survey. At the September meeting, the commission solidified 4 choices for artwork trafficked signal cabinet locations throughout the city. Due to unforeseen issues with image reservations and print resolutions, 3 of the choices were no longer available. The revised art choices availability list within your packet can be used to choose replacement artwork. We're looking for the commission to choose 3 new art choices to replace the ones that were previously selected but not available for installation in 2023. Please let me know if you have any questions.
We're going to do a poll like we did last time via email, or
We certainly can.
or is it just us 4?
We certainly can do another survey if you like.
Right.
Yep, so if a survey is the best way to go about it, I certainly can send something out.
Is that okay with the time frame?
Certainly, yep.
What kind of survey was it?
It was pretty straightforward. It was just, kind of rank, and then I guess we wouldn't. Well, I mean, the location does still factor into it, but we kind of, chose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Dennis has got to abstain because he's got work in here. Very good work, Dennis.
Yes, just like you see starting on page 5 in your packet. Basically, we just numbered all of them, and then everybody chose, I think, up to 5 selections that they wanted, and then we kind of went with the most popular ones and kind of went from there. So
I'm trying to understand the choice chart. So the 5 locations were chosen because they got the most votes, it looks like, right?
yep.
Oh, and I see. So, but it's because several pieces of art are no longer available. Those are removed from the original survey, so that's why we don't see multiple votes for things now.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Our choices proceeded.
Yep, so 3 of them actually were no longer available.
Yep.
Yep.
But Lake Life is still available, and that one's going to be installed.
Yep. Yep.
So the idea is to pick 3 more so we have a backup. 2 of them,
Yes.
2 of them will be installed, and the third will be a backup.
Yes.
Okay.
Then the locations, is it the A through X? What page is that?
Yep, so the locations, actually, if you look beyond the art choice list, there is a map, and then the locations are listed on that following page. So those are all the traffic signal cabinets that could be wrapped. So those are all of them that are available. So then if we wanted to continue on wrapping them, we'd kind of know what we've already done. We would label them differently, so then we could continue on into the future.
So A through X, those are all available?
Yes, yep.
Well, when we voted whenever it was, spring, location E and location Q they rose to the top as far as choices, so but then the corresponding artwork that we voted on fell off, so we need, I presume we want to stick with locations E and Q and just select different artworks now, right?
Oh, I see it there.
That means that F, I, and N have works of art that are going to be installed.
So F will have the Lake Life.
Okay.
So that's the one that was chosen, that still is available. And then E and Q were the locations that were chosen that the artwork is no longer available for.
Okay.
And then I can denote those in a different color on the map.
Okay, but I and N were not chosen. They were, because we only had 3 that we could choose.
Yep.
Got it. They just happened to get 3 votes.
I had to read this a little closer, so I apologize. I see it now.
Yep.
So should we postpone the motion until we've had a chance to do the survey, or should we?
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and get something put together and get that sent out to the group.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay to move on to the next item?
Yep.
So project discussion, the past, present, and future project discussion, we had talked about doing some brainstorming, and I love this list of past and present projects, budgeted funds, current donation funds available, ideas. Fantastic. Thank you, Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
And then even the guiding documents is great too. But hoping that we can have some discussion today about all this data and kind of what we're thinking as a group or individually about possibilities for the future, whether it be fundraising or projects or other ideas. And I like the questions. In the meantime, what ideas do you have? Do we need to get any groups involved? Would involvement amplify interest in what is already available? Anybody have a thought to share?
And I can provide a little overview for 2023, and we can kind of go from there if you like. Okay. So the River Arts expansion is underway. We're working on the details regarding the new additions to the event, advertising and transportation like we've discussed. So there will be more to come on that. The 2023 call for placemaking services was issued on February 16th. This is for groups and individuals bringing their ideas forward that they will have the ability to implement in this year. Looking for everyone to spread the word on that. We're receiving applications until 10 a.m. on April 17th, and details can be found at thecityofmoorhead.com regarding that. approximately at this point, we have $1,400 available in that community fund for general projects. So if there are any other discussion or ideas for other projects for 2023.
So earlier today, over my lunch hour, I was looking on Facebook, and the Moorhead Fantastic page was somebody had posted about a local artist. I believe her last name is Rialt, who has one or more sculptures on the Hutchinson, Minnesota sculpture walk. And yeah, and wouldn't it be great to get one of her pieces here in Moorhead? And then I read down the thread and clicked on the link to the Hutchinson sculpture walk, and then I was, reminded. I knew this, but it was deep in the recesses of my brain that quite often sculpture walk pieces are loans from the artist, not outright purchases. And I'm like, well, then what's keeping us back? It's like, let's get moving on this. And I guess my first question is, with the eye towards the sesquicentennial in 2025, what, if we were to be like, hey, let's have an inaugural sculpture walk for 2025, what do we have to have in place? I presume bases and, stuff. And, how can we throw an appropriate amount of money, a bunch of money towards bases and, and that in a short amount of time? And how much do bases cost, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I think a sculpture walk is a really interesting idea to explore for sure in our community.
Well, yeah, and it's something that we've talked about for the 2+ years that I've been on.
Yep.
So. Cart and horse, at what point do you contact the artists? Can you enlighten us, Dennis?
Yes, I think you'd have to have the, you'd.
But do you just have like a certain number that are, pedestals or plinths, and then a certain that are ground level spots? And
Dennis, could I have you slide the mic a little bit closer to?
Sorry.
And would you just run through quick what you just had mentioned?
Okay. How do I start over? I think it's just, like I said before, it's putting out that, getting it set up and then contacting the artist to, build something for our sculpture walk. And you put out the call and such. I think it's like most other art exhibitions where they put out the call, then stuff gets sent back. If you want to judge it and such, so be it. Then once you've narrowed down to what you want to do, then you just give the info to the artist, let them do what they proposed, and get it set up. I think we almost have to have like those bases set up first. before we start contacting artists, because there's going to be a lot of questions on what they need to do and everything.
Well, it seems like logistically, if we were to start planning now or soon for 2025, which is what you're kind of implying, then with some anticipated funding for public art, we might be able to figure out what pedestals would cost or whatever, as well as to identify where the artworks would go, and then issue a call in enough time to get people to submit either existing works of art or maybe works of art they plan to make
Right.
for it. Right?
This would be on a rotating, different types of year, different artworks.
Yeah, typically, from my experience, like Sioux Falls or Mankato, it's like a year rotation, and there'll be like a People's Choice award, and sometimes the city then buys that work and keeps it permanently, and then rotates the others off.
Just a thought, I mean, and this might be putting cart before the horse, but you could have that sculpture walk at different businesses. It'll attract businesses. So I'm in front of the business, like the Buffaloes in Fargo. You could have them in front of different businesses, and people might, want to go in instead of just in one spot. I think that would probably work pretty well. And the EDA might have something, to say about that too. But I think that's the way we should go. Just a thought.
I'm intrigued by the notion of, as you said, the works being loaned to the city at first, but maybe there's the opportunity to make a purchase at some point if the commissioner, council, or whoever deems it appropriate to do that. And then rotation seems like, especially if we got enough submissions, it could be something that goes on past the Sesquicentennial. That could be the beginning of it, but with the pedestals in place, the locations chosen, there could be a rotation, possibly. Welcome. Good to see you.
How timely, you show just when we're talking about, art and possible art walk, sculpture walk.
Or you could have like sculptures in one spot, but then have some others throughout the city. If you get enough
Well, and
entries.
yeah, I like the idea about in front of businesses, because I presume that the business would then put the bill for the pudding. But then we could also have, in some, public spaces or whatever, and encourage, do a little fundraiser sort of thing so that, people can give $20 or $50 and, help build some bases or pads for those areas.
And it seems like we would want to have a virtual or even a printed sculpture walk map, something that,
Such as what the Rourke is already
example.
working on.
you can slide your mic closer to you if you want, just.
Yeah, as it happens, the website that we've had developed for the sculpture walk, it's expandable. So it would be very easy for us to add more and more sites to the digital map. And of course, it's just really not even a hop, skip, and a jump to make a printed map from that.
When you came, Jonathan, we were starting to talk about, because I had read something on the Moorhead Facebook page earlier today about a local artist, I believe her last name is Rialt, that has at least one piece in the Hutchinson, Minnesota sculpture walk, and we should get some of her works here, sort of thing. And then I was reminded by following the rabbit, down the hole, that with sculpture walks, usually the pieces are on loan. Tell us what you know about sculpture walks, Jonathan.
We've learned that they come in all shapes and sizes and any number of configurations. They can be works on loan. They can be works permanently hosted at various sites. And we've seen instances where there's a great deal of success where there are really hybrids, where there is true public art that may be owned and commissioned by the city in public spaces, but that businesses and indeed some well-positioned private residences could host works, assuming that said businesses and residents don't object to the idea of folks coming and taking a look. Yeah.
Is a 2025 sesquicentennial a feasible time frame, in your opinion, to get one off the ground and in place by then?
Are you talking about an individual work or the sculpture walk itself?
Like at least a handful of pieces around.
Well, our concept that we put forward as part of the call for activation was that there are over 20 existing sculptures in and around Moorhead's core already. So it's simply a matter of first starting to really draw attention to those works and amongst those works, because at the Rourke we're hosting 6 such pieces. Most prominently, we get a lot of folks coming to see Jerry Weiner's Go Bison Go, the Vincent van Gogh bison. But that's just one constituency. There are other folks who were well aware of Mara Morkin's projects just to the north of us, on the other side of Main Avenue at M&H, her conduit garden, and then the group of artists that she worked with to create the Styx Garden between M&H and Ace Hardware. So it made sense to us to say, hey, we should be directing people between these various sites. There's also the Plains Heritage Garden down in Woodlawn Park that has sculptural works in it, salvaged from the city's old light plant that used to be in the neighborhood there. And there are works on the college campuses. And, there's the giant dilly bar at the Dairy Queen, too, that, well, it just makes sense. It's a way to get people out and moving amongst these works. So as for the futurity of the sculpture walk, yes, adding more works to it makes a great deal of sense, particularly along major thoroughfares that would better connect some of the existing sites that may be a little more off by themselves. Yeah.
Great.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and just making people aware, because I didn't know about the stick garden until 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, has this, and I'm new, so I apologize, but has this group done anything to market anything? Because if we market it and maybe have like a little scavenger hunt, more citizens become aware of these sculptures, because like I said, I should know where they're at, because I'm on the council, but yeah, I didn't know about it till 2 years ago, so, I mean, you could up our marketing effort too. Because Moorhead is the arts center in this region, so, step up our game a little bit is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, that sometimes we don't think about that part of what the action could be. And, certainly whether it's hiring somebody or integrating into marketing that's already being done or just changing it, seems like we could, like you said, step up our game.
Yeah,
Sure.
just make people aware, because I'm sure a lot of people in Moorhead don't know about these. Oh, I know Concordia, but I'm on campus quite a bit. But MSUM has, they even have the dragons that right in front that most people miss too. So I mean, if we made the city aware of what's out there, I think people would go and look, especially on a late August night where it's hot and, you know, kids are out of baseball, you have nothing to do, just grab a soda and start seeing some of these exhibits, so.
Grab a dilly bar and,
Yeah.
That's right.
You stop at the Dairy Queen on your map, get a dilly bar, eat that, and then you stop and, if you're adults, maybe stop at a local establishment and have an adult beverage, you know, just.
can I ask how is there a projected debut of the website?
Yeah, we'd like to get it rolled out just as soon as we can here. We've been shooting for April. The site is essentially built. We simply haven't made it public, as there are some issues with signage rollout and the onset of winter that were a little bit of a problem. We want to make sure that proper signage is out at these different sites, numbering the works, identifying them, and providing QR codes so folks can actually pull up the site on their, and indeed the individual artwork entries on their phones.
Sounds great. Yeah, I mean, if there's anything we can do to help from the commission standpoint, hope you'll let us know.
Do you need beta testers or something?
So it seems like it's something we should keep talking about, both supporting what the Rourke is doing, but thinking about, is there more that the commission could do even beyond that to create greater awareness, more marketing, or even maybe identifying a few more locations and possibly soliciting some more works, whether to be borrowed or purchased. I mean, maybe part of it would be, you know, as yours gets up and launched here this spring, looking at that and saying are there further needs, whether it's for types of works or locations or whatever.
And I should say that, you know, while the Rourke is very happy to have been the instigator of this, we are by no means proprietary about the notion of the sculpture walk. I mean, it's we're just the instigators. We wanted to get the ball rolling, and we want to get other parties and stakeholders involved. So that's perfect.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Well, maybe let's make an agenda item for next time to continue that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, I think it'd be fantastic for what's happening downtown too, just have that art aspect in there, because it's going to be great, I'm telling you right now, but if we added art to that, you know, you could just do a sculpture walk around downtown when it's finished, so. Anyway, sorry.
Go ahead.
And Chair Dickey, before we move on, could I actually have you guys do a motion for the request for a survey for the utility box wraps?
Sure.
Because that's what we did last time.
Okay.
So moved. That we do a survey. Thanks, Brittany.
Do we have a second? Is the motion clear enough for you, Brittany? Okay. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Abstentions? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So before we leave this topic of past, present, and future projects, anything else anybody would want to bring up at this time? Chuck.
I have a question too. Maybe it's more at the parks or maybe it's this group, but you know, we have that amphitheater over by Woodland. Is there anybody much use of that with like music or theater or anything like that?
Yes, I don't know.
I know there was a band that played there. I can't remember which one though. It's the Fargo Moorhead one, and that was a nice evening because you could walk through the sculpture garden there and then go and listen to the band. I can't remember which. Maybe you know that.
Which band it was?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I have a memory of knowing it was happening, but I don't remember the name of the group.
But yeah, well, you know, maybe we could look at some items there too, just like on a summer night. And I know we have the River Arts, but you know, something else maybe on a weekend, because it's when the sun's setting there, it's very beautiful. And then if you had like a musical group and maybe some food wagons or food trucks, you know, I think it'd be a good deal.
Hmm.
Because I think that area, that amphitheater, is being underutilized, and we did a lot of planning on that. So I think we could take that up, not necessarily this month, but just start looking at some options there too. So.
Yeah.
Did I imagine this, or did it actually happen that fairly early on after it was set up there that that actually set out a movie screen and did some, maybe played some older films out there, like I seem to recall Ghostbusters possibly?
Yeah, and I think it was like Disney films they had out there with the movie screening, which would be, and I think that was through the Parks Department too. And I mean, we could partner with the Parks Department and see if we can do something with that. But yeah, like I said, yeah, I remember that because I brought my kids there. I don't remember them watching too much of it, but I remember them because they were like a lightning to the playground, you know, in Woodland. But yeah, it was pretty fun time. And that's a beautiful part of Moorhead too. And that where that old power plant was, that's the best spot in Moorhead because it overlooks the river and it's got the park and it's the only elevation we have in this city. So just a thought, you know, for upcoming meetings if we want to take a look at that.
I think that's a great idea. Both are great ideas. And it feels like it's the kind of thing where people are more likely to come out if it happens multiple times rather than just once. So kind of a series, whether it's once a month or something like that.
Get a couple of food trucks each time.
Right.
You know, then that's a draw too.
Generates a little bit of attention, yeah. Is River Arts developing for this year? I mean, is there a lineup and stuff like that? Maybe
Yep.
we've even seen it.
Yep, so the brochure is out. The additions of the cultural performances, the new art demonstrations, all of the new stuff that Josie had mentioned last time she was here, and the new advertisements and things that we had discussed. We've been working on that. Transportation with, we've been working on that. So we should be hopefully having another update maybe in another month or two. So yeah, where it's all coming together. But the brochure, there is a page in the Parks and Rec spring and summer brochure.
Okay.
So that's in there. And then I know she had mentioned possibly doing like a poster or something else that we can kind of visually get out, maybe post around town as well. So.
And there's stuff on the city website, I'm assuming, already.
Yep. So.
Well, as we continue to talk about that Woodlawn Amphitheater and what could happen there, we'll obviously want to dovetail it with what's happening with River Arts so we know how that'll fit in.
Yep.
Other ideas? Or are we ready to move on? Okay, hearing none for now. I guess we're to do election of officers today. So if you take a look at that section of your packet, as reluctant as I am to give up the gavel, I'm willing to do it.
But are you willing to keep it? That's the question.
Apparently. So we will need a motion to recommend someone as chair, as well as to recommend someone as vice chair. Suddenly very quiet.
Willing to vice if you'll chair again.
I'm willing to chair once again, if that's the will of the group.
I'll make that
And-
motion.
What's that?
Motion.
I will note that in the bylaws, it does limit the election of chair and vice chair, that you can only hold office for 2 consecutive years. So Nat, you would not be able to chair or vice chair this year.
Term limits, huh?
Yes, there is a term limit.
Well,
Sorry.
did I chair twice?
You
Or
were
did I pick up from someone partway through?
vice chair in 2021.
I guess I was.
So
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to remove the yoke. So we have to start over then. Allison, are you willing to consider serving as chair?
Well, if Dennis won't.
But Dennis, are you willing to serve as vice chair?
Come on, man, I'm always here. There might be like one time in July, and we probably won't even meet then.
Right. You've already chaired a couple times, right? But not officially. So we have an appropriate motion to consider now?
Mhm.
Okay. Do we need to vote on it?
Yes, please.
All right. So we have the motion to recommend Allison as chair for next year and Dennis as vice chair. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Abstentions. The motion carries. Next, we have some designate representatives.
And who was the first and second on that one?
What? Say that again?
Who was the first and
Oh, did
second?
we do first and second? I guess maybe I forgot to do it.
That's okay.
So I need a motion to approve. I need, a motion to approve these officers.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we already voted. Whew, man, I hope you do this better than I do. All right. Designates. So we're looking for people, let's see. The Artist Review Team includes 2 Art and Culture Commission members. Oh, the Arts and Commission Council representative. So Chuck can't be the person, the people we're nominating, I guess, because you're already going to be there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it says here. Is the ART new?
No,
No? Did you serve on it?
yeah.
Okay.
Jonathan and I have done two
I'm
years.
just out to lunch then.
Are there term limits on that?
Nope. Nope.
Are you
I really
willing to
enjoy
continue?
serving on it, but I don't want to hog it if Dennis or Nat really want to do it. Or Paula, who's not here.
right? I'm happy to have you continue. Jonathan, are you interested in continuing? Okay. Are you eager to join? Are you happy to be? Okay. Can I have a motion then
So moved.
for Allison and Jonathan to continue? Second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I did that one right, Brittany? Okay. And then there's the community fund. And I've been serving on it. I'm happy to pass the baton if that works, or I can keep doing it. This is about identifying projects, assisting with fundraising, making recommendations to City Council for how the funds will be used. I'll say it's been interesting, kind of learning more about what the community fund tends to think about, how it might raise, there's a inclusive playground that's had some interest in it, some work on renovating the baseball field, some other things like that. So it's interesting to hear about those ideas and how the fundraising actually works. Is anybody eager for this opportunity? Shall I keep doing it? What do people think? Okay, all right.
I will second.
So we got motion and second for me to continue. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then there's the Moorhead Award. Who has been doing this?
So it looks like this one was Tim Wolzine.
Okay. And this is about celebrating Moorhead residents, businesses, and organizations that have made outstanding achievements or contributions. Opportunity to recognize those who go above and beyond. Guess we don't know Tim's willingness to continue, but we could.
This is where we get dirty. Now, who's not here that we want to stick?
Or maybe
Or
someone's
Dennis.
excited about it. Any thoughts? Maybe before we do that, we should look at the placemaking call on the next page. Is this one new?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So this is similar to like the call for activation last year, that review group.
Is there a sense of scope of this group? Will it be only together for this year?
Yep. So the call for placemaking will be just to review the submittals that come in April.
In April?
Yep. To do basically a recommendation to City Council.
Okay. So short-lived, but maybe a little bit intense while it's happening.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And this meeting is Tim Wolzine's last meeting with Art and Culture as well. We will have a new commission member in March too. So
we probably shouldn't elect him to something.
yeah.
Well, so is anyone excited about being part of the placemaking call?
Unfortunately, we're contemplating making a submission, so
You'd
the
probably
museum that is, so
be conflict of interest, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Buddy. So who's not here? Paula, Tim. That's
Oh,
it.
but Tim's rolling off, so.
And Tim's rolling off. Yep. So. Well, I feel a little bit awkward nominating Paula for something that's got such a specific timeline commitment, not knowing kind of what her availability might be.
I'll thumb wrestle Dennis for it.
Okay.
Yes, I think my April is not cluttered. I say that now, and I know that that's a false statement.
Okay. How about this, Dennis? Would you rather do Moorhead Award or call for placemaking? Okay. Are you willing to do placemaking? So do we do those two motions separately?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we have a motion to recommend Dennis to represent us on the Moorhead review. I guess, can I make that motion? Second?
Second.
Allison seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And then we have a motion to recommend Allison to represent us on the call for placemaking services review group. I'll make that motion. Second. Thank you, Dennis. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, I think we did it. Anything else for the good of the group? When does Allison take office as chair?
So it would be at the next meeting.
Next meeting. Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. All right, well, do we need a motion to adjourn?
I got something real quick, though.
Oh, Chuck wants to bring something up.
Just a quick note, Ward 2, I know Tim's going off. They did nominate somebody on tonight's council meeting.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's public record. It's Britta Trigsted.
Okay.
I don't know. So once she gets on, I mean, if somebody doesn't want their committee appointment, we can just give her that. So. But I don't see a
new
problem with
person has
that
to do
passing.
this.
In fact, I'd be shocked if there's a problem with that passing. So, yeah, it looks like Britta will take over for Tim next council meeting. So,
Cool. Actually, before we adjourn, should we go around and do updates of things that are happening in our spheres of influence? Jonathan, you want to start?
Sure. We've got Zimmy Guan and Brad Bach-Myers co-exhibit currently on view at the museum. It's wildly colorful and interesting, and it's Zimmy, who's a painter by trade, actually did some ceramic work with Brad, so some genuine collaboration there in the exhibit as well. So yeah, come by and take a look.
Exciting. Thanks. Dennis? Lean in, lean in. I don't know. You're supposed to have a little donut around it.
just talk.
Dot, dot, dot.
You'll be fine. Sentia? Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Good. All right, that's plenty. I will mention the Concordia Choir is about to do its annual tour, and they'll come back and do their home concert on the 19th, Sunday. Is that a Sunday? I think it is. Yeah. At Memorial Auditorium in the afternoon. Other things that are happening in the music department, there are many other concerts people can come to. We're back and open and welcoming audiences again. So if people want to go to the Concordia College website and look for the music link, they'll find lots of different kinds of concerts, recitals, things like that, guest artists happening coming up in the next month.
Theater B's show, The Lifespan of a Fact, is running another week, well, through next weekend. And then on this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Theater B, Concordia Theater, and Hope Incorporated are doing Treasure Island at Concordia Black Box.
Just one quick note that Fargo Moorhead choral artists are starting up, and I wasn't part of the choral artists until spring, so I am now a member of the choral artists, and we have a concert coming up in April. I'll let you know at the March meeting. So, but it should be a good concert, and it's from local composers, so local and national composers. So it should be a pretty good concert. But I'll give you more information when it gets closer. So.
Wonderful.
And I am a choir nerd, so you took my thunder. I was going to mention the Concordia Choir, but
Well, what you said makes me think of Fargo Moorhead Symphony, which does have concerts coming up on the 18th and 19th, playing Mahler's Fifth Symphony, which is a huge work, really powerful. Encourage people to come check that out as well. Any other announcements, questions? All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, put on your coats.